Good morning. My name is Paul Cronin. I'm the MD of Black Dragon Gold. Black Dragon owns the Salave gold project in northern Spain. We are currently about the 9th owner of this project. It has been drilled extensively from the 1960s by Rio Tinto, by Anglo Gold, by Lundin Mining, by Rio Narcia, all looking at the project as an open pit. The company, when we got involved in July 2017, was nothing less than a basket case. It had 15 million in debt. It had just defaulted on its license obligations with the Spanish government and was denied its environmental clearance. We immediately set about cleaning it up because we knew the asset and we liked it a lot. So the first thing we did was we brought in a new board and management. We recapitalised the company, negotiating down the debts. We reduced the overheads and the corporate spend. We removed an existing royalty on the property, and then we set about immediately cleaning up the geologic data and re-drilling the property. So our share price performance is probably pretty consistent with most junior gold companies in this sector. We raised money on listing on the ASX in August last year at 20 cents, and our current share price is 10, and we'll be working hard to make sure that that share price performs a lot better over the course of 2019. So board of management is myself. We have Joe Battershall, ex-gold analyst at UBS, as our chairman. Richard Monty, a renowned geologist in Australia. Alberto Lavandiera is the CEO of Atalaya Mining in Spain, Spain's biggest and most successful mining corporation. In addition to that, we have Jose Dominguez as our GM in Spain. Jose was ex-Rio Tinto, and then Imerys. He was the GM of Rio Tinto in Spain and Italy, and is very well connected, being a local of Asturias and a graduate of the Oviedo School of Mines. Spain is becoming quickly a global destination for mining within Europe. We have seen in the last 5 years about 6 new projects get permitted in Spain. We have seen dozens of new exploration licenses being handed out, and this has primarily been driven off the fact that the EU has shut down Spain's coal mines. The coal industry unions were very active in pushing the government to expand the mining industry into other metals, so we're seeing a number of projects get off the ground, including the Atalaya Rio Tinto copper mine in Seville, which is currently Europe's largest mining project. We are located on the northern coast of Spain. There is fantastic infrastructure. We have Oviedo Airport is 70 kilometres to our east. We have the Ribadeo Port 10 kilometres to our west. You couldn't be blessed with better infrastructure in this country. We have also got a valuable asset base in the company. When we took over the project in 2017, we immediately set about drilling. We drilled only 7 holes and grew the resource by 50% because we intercepted large, thick, high-grade intercepts of gold. So our mineral resource inventory is currently 1.6 million ounces, a little under 4.5 grams per tonne. We've also recently completed a preliminary economic assessment of the project. Our entire scope of the project is really looking at concentrate sales, so we're going to export concentrates rather than try and produce doré on site. The reason for that is the EU has recently passed a directive to its member states to cease the use of cyanide. It means that trying to build a POX plant or a BIOX plant in country is going to add additional capital and bring additional environmental burdens on both our local community and the company. So we've made the decision to purely just export concentrates. The underlying economics of the project, however, are there. At $12.50 gold, we've designed a mine that uses sub-level stoping and vertical retreat mining to minimise underground mining costs and recover the majority of our resource, even though we will have quite high mining dilution as a result. But regardless of that, the NPV on a pre-tax basis is just under 300 million US. However, it's our intention to try and grow the resource, and I'd like to talk a little bit more about what we're doing on the exploration front this year. There has been very extensive drilling done on Salave in the past, but most of it is vertical drilling. And if you're looking at building an underground deposit that dips at 35 degrees, you've got to have angled holes. We set in there, did 7 holes this year on varying angles to look at the geometry of the ore body itself. What we didn't expect to find was whole new lenses of mineralisation on the northwestern part of the deposit, sub 300 metres, that included intercepts that were 28 metres at 12.5 grams a tonne, 12 metres at 52 grams a tonne, 5 metres at 150 grams a tonne. And what we have now determined based on that is that the resource is in fact open to the northwest where we were drilling, but also having a look through the historical data and looking at what was drilled there on the southeastern part of the deposit, this section actually looks to the northeast, is that the drilling on the southeastern part of the deposit was not done deep enough. What we've also identified is the key to high-grade mineralisation at Salave is albite ceratite alteration. That is where you're seeing the plus 10 gram a tonne intercepts consistently. So we have remapped all of the alterations on the project by going back through the physical drill core, and we now have a much better geologic model for which we believe additional exploration will be largely successful. Our permits at Salave are 100-year permits. They were issued in 1945 by the Franco government. They expire in 2045. But what we have been successful in applying for and receiving quite recently is a very large exploration permit. We will be flying aeromag over that starting on the 1st of April. 50-metre lines, 50-metre altitude, which will give us a very good indication of whether there is any magnetic signatures on that extended licence. But in addition to that, we'll be doing some soil geochemistry on some targets and then drill testing those probably in 2020. However, in 2019, we're going to do a 20-hole program that looks both at the northwest, so we're going to continue to drill out those intercepts that we hit in 2018, and we're also going to significantly drill test the southeastern side of this deposit at depth to understand whether the mineralisation does in fact continue to the southeast and was just missed because the drill holes were too shallow historically. And we're reasonably confident that we're going to be able to grow our resource and put out a new mineral resource estimate at the end of this year. So what have we done this year? In the last 12 months, we've cleaned up the balance sheet. We've cleaned up the geologic data. We've put in the first drill program on the project since 2013. We have put out a PEA that underlines the economics of the project. We're in advanced discussions around offtake. And moving forward, we'll complete those discussions around offtake. We will update our MRE and our PFS by the end of this year. We will continue to drill out those extensions to both the northwest, the west and the southeast, and we'll be doing some more greenfield exploration on the entire investigation permit area. The most importantly, however, what we're doing at the moment is permitting. We do have mining leases. However, before we can start exploitation, we need to go through an environmental clearance, and in the European Union that is a lengthy process. We have lodged our application to be issued with the terms of reference for an EIA quite recently. My expectation is that terms of reference will be issued to us in June of this year. Prior to that, we've had a number of discussions with the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Mines and the CHC, who are the federal body responsible for groundwater in Spain. And we have been very successful in trying to explain to them exactly how we think this project can be done, both economically, but in an environmentally friendly way that would not have a massive impact on our local community. Once we receive that terms of reference, we'll have a very good idea of what the timeline is to complete that permitting. Indicatively, we're looking at about 12 months, but there may be opportunities to speed that up. So we've taken the project over in mid-17. By mid-19, I think we'll be able to give our shareholders an update on when production will commence. We've achieved a lot. We've got a lot still to achieve, but I think the company is certainly on the track to success, and we are well funded to deliver it. Thank you very much.